Welcome to episode 9 of the Injustice Gods Among Us podcast. With me are Godofgods.
Hello guys, I would also like to take this moment to say we've officially launched a Discord server. So if you'd like to come interact with us, we will leave a link in the description. And we've also partnered with the Wiki Discord server. So you can expect to see some of the wiki stuff, I guess, in the server.
Yeah, and returning member Awesomep. Welcome back.
Yeah.
And then this week's special guest, thanks to our new, partnership.
Yeah.
Nightwing05.
Hey guys.
Okay. Let's get into it. Nightwing, who are you?
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Who am I? I am Nightwing. I am the current runner, I guess, of the Injustice Wiki. I am the person that's in charge of that and making everything look as nice as possible, keeping everything updated, and really like the head editor of that. I've also the person that runs the Wiki Discord server as well, and that's what got me introduced to you guys, really, I guess, for this episode because of our partnership through Discord. So that's why I'm here, and I guess we're gonna be talking about some stuff. So excited for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's first of all address the weekly happenings, right? The challenge cycle and the multiplayer reward.
All right.
So this week the challenge character is Killer Croc Arkham. I think he's a bit overrated for a card that came out later because his stats don't really add anything except extra health.
And his passive, it's not a bad passive, but the fact that there are way more better tanks doesn't really help his case.
He is an Arkham character, so you could have some interesting synergies, but there's way better alternatives in my opinion. And his special one, I believe, glitches out a lot. I wouldn't recommend using him as anything else than a tank, really. Okay, the multiplayer reward this week is, I think, one of the most underrated gears in the game. I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but it's the Scarecrow's mask.
Last episode as well.
It has many uses. It's Nightwing, what do you think about the Scarecrow's mask?
I think that this gear is very underrated, like you say. I think people don't give it the credit it deserves because it can be very useful and very powerful, especially if it's paired with other gears for like invulnerability and things like that. I think that the reflect, when paired with like Aquaman, Flashpoint, for example, when you have those two paired together with, I'm not sure if you need another gear, but there's a certain setup you can have with him in particular or with other characters that can make it invulnerable to certain specials. Like sometimes they just won't deal any damage. Certain cases obviously are going to bypass that and be able to kill you if they have certain gear setups or whatever. But I think for the most part, it can be very effective against a majority of teams, and it can be really useful for just countering a lot of different cases that you can run into in multiplayer.
I think the only setback is that it requires you to be blocking the invulnerability build with, like you said, Flashpoint Aquaman, which can just reflect even if he's not blocking. So defensively, that would be more useful. But he's
who would you say that you use it on mostly?
I use it on classic Scorpion because his passive, when he attacks in, I think he has even higher amount of reflect damage. So for 10 seconds,
right? So they
mesh
damage perfectly with that. Yeah, there's a few characters that it can synergize with well. Other characters it's not as good, but if you find the right pairs, it can be really effective against a lot of different teams that you're going to run into.
I was like earlier today I was using the Scarecrow's mask on Flashpoint Aquaman and Survivor, and I don't know if it was. I think it was because of the it kind of like reflected the damage. If I blocked, it reflected the damage that an enemy would do from the special twice because of his water shield passive. So it would do twice the reflect. I don't know if maybe that was just me, but is that like a thing?
I don't know about that.
I've not experienced any bugs like that, but I do know that the reflect can be a little bit buggy sometimes. I've not really run into it too much, but I've definitely heard of it happening before. I'll have to look more into it. I guess we can talk about that, and I can do some research on why that's happening and what exactly is taking place. But once I find out about that, I can make a bug page about it or upgrade people's pages on the wiki, I guess, to include that information so people know what's happening if they see that.
Also, a very useful, I think underused part of his, what do you call it, part of the gear, is that it negates healing for 10 seconds on tag-in. So this allows you to use DOT on any team. So in multiplayer, if you have a character with Scarecrow's mask, then you can just use a dot build and not worry about a Black as Night Flash team.
Yes, it can definitely be useful for situations like that as well. Isn't it quite similar to Batman Flashpoint's passive, where he would cancel all healing after his special use?
I think so, but I haven't really tried doing that with, like, using a special one against a Black as Night Flash and then seeing if he does take DOT damage. Does he? I don't know.
He makes an interesting point. I will try it out in the span of this episode, and I will report back to you.
Okay.
I've not tested that out either, but I just know that that's a part of his passive that people have used before for different strategies of just canceling healing against characters in certain times, and you have to strategize it in a way to make it work the way you want it to.
That's a very good point, though. Like, if that works, then that's a great way to get through battles around 19 of Survivor.
Right. Because I know healing can definitely be a really problematic thing when you're going into matches where people have a lot of health and they're healing.
This week's breakthrough is for Bane, Killer Frost, and Ares. I mean, Luchador Bane is the obvious choice here. And then I'd say Ares, and then you can, if you can, break them through, of course. But those are the best characters, or the greatest potential this week, in my opinion.
Well, they're two of the best nuke characters anyways, so a debate at this point.
They're two of the best just multiplayer characters in general.
Awesomep and Godofgods, have you broken anyone through this week? Because I know Nightwing doesn't need to anymore.
I broke through Luchador Bane a while ago, and I have my Ares nowhere near high enough on Elite to break through him. And I have Killer Frost available for promotions, but I'm keeping her at Elite 3. So
I've still got 2 characters to go yet, but I can't use breakthrough on the one of them for about 2 weeks yet.
Which one?
That one in particular is Deathstroke Flashpoint. He's Elite 8 right now, and I'm still waiting to get him back in again to get the last 2. And then my final character is Black as Night Flash. Yeah, I remember when the hackers first came around. That was the season I was going to go for first place, and so I haven't had an opportunity to get more copies of him, or at least not 4 at once. But he is Elite 4 right now, and I haven't had him. I missed his last season, but when he comes up again, I'll definitely be getting a few more copies.
Didn't get him last season?
No, I missed it. I didn't notice that it came up until it had just ended.
The irony of the guy who upholds the sheet.
Yeah, sometimes it works out that way. I'm just too busy and I don't get around to seeing it until it's just over. So I missed out on all the copies.
That reminds me, though, you have, except for those 2, you have everyone Elite X, right?
Apart from those 2 characters, yes. And then obviously all the medals can't be Elite 10. So if you're looking at the 144, it's just 138 that you can get to Elite 10. So I have 136 of them.
How long did that take you? And was that a conscious decision to max everyone out?
Well, I guess it really took about 7 years, because that was, I'd say, about a year and a half ago or whatever, that I've finished out the rest of those characters. And it was definitely intentional to go and max all of them out because I'm a completionist, so I wanted to have everybody totally maxed out and not have anything under the max that they could be. So even when I first started the game, I was like, this is a game that I'm probably going to spend a lot of time playing. I'm going to play for a long time, and I'm going to complete everything that I can. That was my goal just to have everybody maxed out, and I'm just about there.
Right.
8 years later.
Yeah,
Yeah, anyways.
a lot of time later.
By the way, I did the test with Flashpoint Batman, and I found out that while it does stop the Blackest Night team's healing, the DOT doesn't apply any damage.
That's weird.
And
So it's
yeah,
not the
I don't
same
know
mechanic.
why. Yeah, I guess so. Because the fire would be there, because I was using the Ivy stick, but the opponents wouldn't take any damage, and the Ivy stick applies so much damage that it would be visible, but nothing of the swords showed out.
Is that because they're just immune to DOT damage in general, or do you think that there's some other mechanics in play there that we're not really too sure about, like conflicting with each other?
Well, if what AG says is true, the Scarecrow's mask does allow DOT to be applied to any Blackest Night Flash team. I believe it would be more of a developer problem. So, for example, Rebirth Raven is specified that she steals the power, but in the quest for Power Steal, it doesn't add any to the bar, I guess. So I think
Right,
it's
some
more-
internal like terminology conflictions
Yeah.
like that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never know. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Well, I'll
though.
definitely look into that too. I'll see what I can find out through some testing about whether or not that's something that can be strategized around, I guess, for DOT builds and whatnot.
I was trying some builds as well, and yesterday I defeated the Blackest Night team at page Battle 63 with purely a DOT build with the Scarecrow's mask. So they can take damage, but they do gain power from it. So you have to deal with that.
Did you say they do gain power from it,
Yeah,
but no damage?
they do take damage.
Oh, they do take damage with the Scarecrow's mask.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's interesting. I'll have to see what I can do about adding information about that on their pages for countering certain characters and things like that, or on the characters' pages for what gears can counter them as well.
I think it's a terminology thing, because if we look at both of them, Batman's passive says it turns off all aspects of healing, so it doesn't say that the effects are negated. Whereas in the Scarecrow's ventilator mask, it says untagging healing is negated for 10 seconds. It says the passive's effect is negated, so maybe that plays a part.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, instead of just turning it off, it's negating it. All right,
Yeah, exactly.
Nightwing, I have a question for you.
shoot for it.
So you're known as one of the only people who have a legit, pretty much almost maxed out account. What are your thoughts on this, for you, relatively new strategy of purposely not promoting certain characters for the sake of multiplayer speed, like the Scopus build, for example?
I feel like doing that and having that strategy can be very effective for being quick and getting a lot of battle rating online to easily climb the leaderboards. And I feel like if I would have not promoted the characters that I have, then I would have been able to take more advantage of that strategy online. And now I can't because my characters are too strong to do that. But I do think that if I would have known that beforehand, I probably would have kept a few back to be able to go quickly so that I would be able to get battle rating at a faster rate. It's too late to do that now.
And
Okay.
again, you can also grind like Aiden. He just has 1 gold and a couple silvers. You could do something like that, and you could still grind really fast.
I do use that strategy, but I mean, as far as using like a team of 3 golds that have much better synergy, for example, and using different gears to like nuke special 1 or something like that, I can't really do because I don't have the balancing quite right on my nuking characters and their teammates to be able to do that efficiently. Like Bane, for example, I can't have an efficient all gold Bane team because I don't have the lower stats enough to balance that out efficiently because all of my golds are elite 10, so I can't really do that as well as other people that have like an elite 2 or 3 on the team or something like that.
So what about augments? How many characters have you maxed out on augments, and which ones?
Oh, we're getting into augments. Okay. I've never really been a massive fan of augments because I didn't really like spending too much time in Survivor because I just didn't really enjoy it too much. So unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of augments spread out yet across my characters. I do have one character fully maxed out, and that is. You want to take a guess on who it is?
I think the
And
Arkham
Justice
Knight.
2 Superman.
Justice 2 Superman. What'd you say, AG?
The Arkham Knight.
The Arkham Knight. That's right. It's him because when augments first came out, he was the only person that I would use them on, and then I would keep dumping them into him and just keep using them on nobody else but him. And so he's been maxed out, but I don't have a whole lot spent on anybody else really, except for Nightwing, who I have maxed out on a few different things. That's Nightwing Prime, obviously, because Nightwing Prime is just so good. But actually, I do have some on Ares because he's my multiplayer carry. So I have a few things maxed out on him. But other than that, I don't really have all too many.
Survivor is the most important, in my opinion, the most important game mode for consistently. Like early game, it's very useful for different reasons, but even in like end game, it's still like I play Survivor every day, as many rounds as I can do, just because of the augments, right? Because it never stops being useful. Like challenge mode.
You are the sole exception, and I can say that with confidence. Like
I should be doing that, but I'm not.
Exactly. That's what everyone says. I should be doing that, or I want to be doing that.
Even Scopus has stopped playing Survivor from what I hear. So
yeah, but do you know how many augments that man has? It's insane.
Well, for me, when Survivor first came out, it was like you couldn't get Antimetal through it or anything because Antimetal didn't exist. But
yeah,
right.
I mean, even then, once I had gotten all of my Survivor gears out of it, I just didn't feel like wasting the time to grind for all the augments because I just didn't feel like it was enjoyable and really worth my time. I know augments are valuable and you can get a lot of use out of them, but I just didn't feel like it was worth it to spend all that time just for the possible chance of getting maybe an augment or two. I just didn't want to waste my time doing that, even though I knew that it would take years to get all the ones that I was looking for, so I should have started sooner, but it just wasn't something that I really liked doing, so I never really started doing that consistently.
And back then there was 16 fights, I think.
Yeah, 16 was the max back then. Back in the day, I did beat 16, but I haven't spent the time to go about beating 21 because I just never really attempted it.
Did you use the reverse flash strategy?
What, the infinite juggle combo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was overpowered.
Yeah, if you had reverse flash, it was the way to go.
Is there like a meta or like a particular team that doesn't work as well now from back in the day that you find interesting or miss using?
Misusing. I guess the Shazam teams that used to be OP back in the day, those were really fun. I don't really see anybody using Shazam Prime anymore. At least not at the levels that I'm at in online. I don't know if you guys run into Shazam at all, but
no.
I am. I have Elite 10.
He was one of the best characters in the game. Him and Batman Arkham Origins were like the strongest characters that everybody was trying to get back then. They were the best of the best, and I just remember having so much fun using them, and not necessarily together, but using either of them, I guess, in multiplayer when multiplayer came out, and just having a lot of fun using those characters, like with the Joker killing joke strategy, getting a full power bar on Shazam, and then using his super to have his passive activate. It's just so much fun, and I don't remember having that much fun with anything else that's come out, I guess, aside from Tantu Totem, because it's basically replaced him. Before Tantu Totem, that was the Tantu Totem, and that was so much fun.
And did you back then already have Killing Joke Joker at Elite 7? Was it back then? Doesn't that take a long time?
I think back then I didn't have him, at least when I started using the strategy, I didn't have him maxed out because getting alliance credits was pretty difficult. You had to either get them from like the daily logins every once in a while or invite people from Facebook through the game. So it was really hard to obtain a lot of those to get him until the Most Wanted pack came out, and you could get him through that. But even still, 600,000 is going to take a lot of time to save up for. So he was really low promotion, but that actually works out better looking back on it now because of his lower health. He could actually be taken out quicker so that you could get to the Shazam super move, so you could actually use his passive much quicker and not waste so much time whittling down on him when he has higher health amounts with more promotions.
I think that's a big reason why his usefulness has dropped. One of the reasons, at least. Because most players now have promoted him, at least sometimes. Personally, I've maxed him out. And only when I did max him did I realize that his usefulness was when he was weak.
Definitely, right.
Yeah, because you don't have the time nor the patience to wait every game for him to die.
Exactly, and most teams now, or at least back then, most teams back then didn't have as many ways or methods of having bars of power as quickly as you can get them now, like with Tantu Totem, Master's Death card, or things like that. So it was mostly just basics until you could build up to get a special. So wiping him out just took so much longer then. Now, I guess if you use him on your team and you're up against Tantu Totem or something and they can tag in him and knock him out in a matter of seconds, it's easier now with all the methods that we have to do that than it was back then. But even still, it's just a waste of time compared to what it used to be when he had much lower health, and I guess a couple basics would knock him out.
Yeah. And also, like, a super move takes too long by the standards of today.
Right. So, are you talking about just using Shazam's super move, or?
Well, in general, really.
In general, well, yeah. They're not as used as much as they used to be because of just speed and, I guess, just efficiency, really. Speaking of super moves, what are your guys' favorite super moves? Or give me like your top one favorite.
I have a top two, personally. Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight, and Static.
Okay, mine's the Arkham Knight, and I wouldn't go with Static, actually. I'd have somebody else up there. You guys want to guess?
Superman?
No, not Superman.
Flash. Oh, no, Nightwing.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it took me a while to register.
It shouldn't. I use that joke all the time.
What character does he like?
Who's my favorite character?
Yeah.
Good question. There's two of them.
Arkham Knight and Nightwing. Oh,
There you go. Yeah, you got them both.
Where does that come from? Your passion for Nightwing?
I couldn't tell you really when it started, but I guess just when I had first seen him, like as a kid in comics or whatever, I just thought he was an awesome character. I liked everything about him, all of his different gadgets and weapons, his suit, the way he fights, the way he can just be funny and serious. Really everything about him, how he can be, I guess, kind of a jokester too sometimes, the way like the Flash can be with the comedy that he has, cracking jokes sometimes. His color scheme especially, I love the color scheme. It's my favorite colors. Black and blue. Not the new 52. This was before new 52. I don't like when they put red on him. He does not. He's not supposed to have red. He's supposed to have blue.
The red stands out.
Yeah, I was never a fan of the red, but I don't know. It's just everything about him. He's like, I guess he's I don't know really the words to use it, but he's like a shining light, I guess. And it's something that people can attach themselves to and be related to because he's so like, I guess, relatable because of how he doesn't have any powers and how he can just be somebody that people look up to as like, if they're going through a hard time or something, just look at how he's been able to turn his past into something that can be used for good and how he can be light to people that have like things that they're dealing with and how he's always helping other people and just trying to be somebody that's helpful.
I think you're in love.
He's just an awesome character and I like everything about him.
That's what they all say. We never mentioned, but Phantom Zone is still ongoing. So have you guys gotten any good drops?
I did. I got, well, the first two weren't that great. I got like Luthor Bane and I don't know who, someone useless. But then the third drop was,
You got new 52 Shazam.
yeah, I got new, and I I was cheering so
Oh.
loud. I just need one more copy, then I can evolve him. And it's been I'm like 20 right now. I'm 14,000 nth metal deep trying to get him to evolve him.
Evolve who now?
New 52 Shazam.
Oh, okay, Shazam, gotcha. Yeah, I've been able to get all of mine to evolved, but I haven't really gone too far after that. Outside of my two strongest, I guess, is my Nightwing and Batman Who Laughs.
Batman Who Laughs.
Which is Batman Who Laughs is Elite 4, and Nightwing actually got up to Elite 5, which took a lot of time, but the other ones are just at their base evolved form at Elite 3, and I don't really use them all too much, really. I just don't touch them. Well, did you guys hear about the story where I had purchased a Nth Metal Ultimate pack, and I got a double Catwoman drop? I sold them both, and then I could buy another Ultimate pack, and I got a double Nightwing drop.
Really?
I was streaming it that day, actually, and it was nuts.
Well,
I got two back-to-back doubles, but I sold the two Catwoman to get them.
Yeah. What if you got like a useless character, a gold? And
I would have been upset.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nightwing is definitely better than Catwoman because it's Nightwing.
Which is like objectively, I'd say that's a better metal.
Like all around, I think so. Yeah, I think Catwoman could definitely be OP in certain situations if you don't have like a counter for her or something. But I think overall, I think Nightwing's better. AG, did you say a few minutes ago there was something you wanted to bring up or ask me about?
Didn't I ask you about the which team you missed, right?
There was that, but I thought you said that there was something else you wanted to bring up. I'm not sure.
Let's see. I wanted to ask you about the medals. I don't know. Wait, we haven't heard Awesome P's favorite super move yet.
Oh, it's what was it? I know I have an answer. It's I like the Arkham Knights, obviously. Doomsday. It's Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Really, Doomsday? Okay.
I think
Pounded him through the earth all the way up to the moon. Just punch him through it.
It explains his character quite well.
Doomsday is my favorite character, just in general.
But Doomsday is your favorite character?
Yeah.
Have you seen...
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
No, I was saying to Nightwing, if you'd seen some of your out-of-context text, it explains quite well why you love Doomsday.
Let's keep it nice and family friendly.
Under wraps.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I've noticed something interesting lately. First things first. We have the Killer Frost bundle, so next week's challenge will probably be Killer Frost. We also got the Justice League pack, the worst pack I've ever seen: Superman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman regime for €20 or $30, I think, depending where you're from. I think it's safe to say don't buy this pack. It's not worth it. But the interesting thing is the Survivor pack and the 3 Celebration packs have been around for it's been more than a month, I think.
Yeah, they haven't changed, right?
Yeah, and they used to cycle these packs, well, at least the Celebration packs, so we don't have to count the Survivor pack, but 3 Celebration packs to be around at the same time for more than a month, I think it's unprecedented, right?
Yeah, it's unusual that all 3 are there all together. It's weird.
Worrying, to say the least.
Before we run out of time here, Nightwing, what do you, because you have a lot of responsibilities in Justice-wise. You run the Discord server, the main Discord server, the wiki server, and then you run the wiki, and then you run the main sheet, the main Google sheet. What kind of responsibilities do you have in a week, Justice-wise?
Well, there's a lot, and sometimes I get a little behind because there's so much I have to do. But I guess starting with the Google spreadsheet that a lot of people have been using lately to keep up to date on all the current events. I go on there and I make sure that the cycles are always aligned to the way that they're currently running. So if they change or something, I'll have to adjust them. But I keep those up to date. I have to keep everything basically lined up so that when the next challenge is coming, people are prepared for that, so that they know which one's going to be coming. Or same like the multiplayer challenge or the breakthrough, so that they can like schedule that, I guess, according to how they want to run their account or whatever. So that's one thing. It doesn't take all too much on there every week, because it's, for the most part, it's like planned out to run the way that it's supposed to. But I guess the most responsibilities come on the wiki, where I have to manually update every page that has information about the current challenge or the current multiplayer reward, and the breakthrough, which I have to change regularly as well. So basically, it's the same information that I have on the spreadsheet, but across all the pages that have information with those current events as well. So on the challenge page, on the home page, the current events page, across all of those pages that I have to update regularly as well. That can actually take quite a bit of time to update all of those regularly. So like Wednesdays, I'll update the multiplayer. Thursdays, I'll update the challenge. Fridays, I'll update the gold breakthrough for that week. And then I'll try and update everything I need to for the embeds that I have set for the Discord servers. And that alone can take probably about an hour. And then on top of that, I have all the trivia that I run for Scopo's server, actually. So if you guys don't know about that,
really,
I run the scoring and the roles and the leaderboards for all of that.
Yeah.
So if you guys are in the Scopo server, definitely check out trivia. It's a lot of fun. If you're not, join the server and get involved with trivia, because we have a lot of fun over there. Just keeping the spreadsheets all organized and up to date on that it can be complicated, especially if there's something that comes up with somebody not getting like the win that they deserve or something like that, or if somebody like messes up something when it comes to trivia or whatever and it needs to be fixed, I'll have to take care of that and get them all the roles that they need if they want a certain amount of times or something. And I did that earlier today. It took me about an hour to get through all of that. But that's just a little bit of the responsibilities that I have. And then on top of that, I have a lot of just routine editing that I do for grammar and like factual discrepancies and errors or whatever across the wiki if I find any, and trying to keep those as nice as I can, keeping those looking as professional as possible, and basically just uniform across the board so that I don't have any formatting changes like from one page to another if they're supposed to look similar. I just try to keep all those looking as good as I can, really, for the community, because I know a lot of people use those daily. Just people told me that they use them like religiously all the time, so I try to keep those looking as good as I can for everybody that's trying to get information from there.
I think all of us use the wiki and your sheet, obviously, pretty much every day. At least I do.
Yeah, I do as well. I think everyone in the community does. Funny thing is, today when I was setting up the server, which, by the way, I have to say, Nightwing, I have a newfound respect for you, because setting up a server on my own took a whole lot out of me, and I couldn't imagine doing that every week. So
right, like going through all the roles you have and setting like 100 permissions for all of them.
Yeah, the permissions. Oh my god.
Oh, and then if you have 100 channels, you have to go and set all the permissions on all of the channels.
Yeah.
It can get time consuming. It's fun, but it's not fun at the same time.
But yeah, when I was setting up the server, someone asked me why a command that allows us to see the cycle spreadsheet wasn't working. And I think it's really funny because you mentioned all your duties for the cycles and all that stuff. And even in our server, which is like new, it's been public for 2 days, and a random fan, I guess, member of the server, asked why it wasn't working, because he needed it to know the new events, I guess, for next week.
Oh, right. I know a lot of people are always asking about it, like, where's the cycle? I need my information for the day or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they always check on it. But I'm happy that a lot of people are getting a lot of use out of it because I've spent a lot of time doing that. Help out. It makes me happy that I can be able to help and get people information that they're looking for. So
I think everyone really
that spreadsheet
appreciates it.
alone, I probably put a couple hundred hours into. Like when I was first getting started, I was spending like day after day on it, just trying to put as much time into it as possible to make it look as nice as it is now. But it's been a few months now working on getting this to the point that it is where I don't really have to stay on top of it every day. I can literally just, for the most part, let it run the way that I have it set up because it's pretty simplified down to the point where I can just let it be dependent upon the cycles and how those are running. So it's not too much to really look after, but that took a lot of work to get set up and organized the way that it is. I remember last year when I was first creating it, like on my weekends, I would spend a couple times like 12 plus hours straight just working on getting everything all set up and organized the way that it is, which I like doing, but I could have been doing other things. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on every single cell on that sheet, everything that's got a name or a character on it is all linked to the wiki's page for that character. I don't know if you've seen that feature or not, but I put a lot of time into that, and that one probably took quite a few hours alone just to have all of those linked to their respective article on the wiki, because I run the wiki. I like to have everything tied back into that and connected to the wiki where I can. So if people need information on a character or something, they're all linking to that respective page so that they can use that for the information that they need to get. And so I spent a lot of time on that, had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm glad that people are actually getting the use out of it that I was hoping that they would. I didn't think it would pick up as much as it has, the way people are using it now, but I'm glad that people have gotten the use out of it that they are.
I think we're at the end of the episode now, at the end of our time. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for the partnership.
Thanks for the invite, man. I've had a lot of fun here tonight. This was awesome. Looking forward to seeing this get posted.
Looking forward to the sound of your own voice.
Might be your most viewed episode because I was on it. No, I'm kidding. No, when Scopus gets on, that'll be the most popular episode.
If we hope
if
so,
if he ever gets on.
Yeah, we can only hope so. But
right.
This...
But I'm like the next best thing, right? Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you're one of the next best things. I'd say you and Aiden. Oh, I guess Aiden isn't that much known, but his account is almost as good as yours.
Oh, Aiden, yeah, he's really good too.
Yeah. When he came around, his that video is our most viewed one. So.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people have probably seen him like on leaderboards and things.
Yeah.
People wouldn't recognize me, I guess, if they see me because they don't know what my account is. Because my account on the leaderboard isn't the same as my community name.
Oh yeah, but I think most of our audience comes from Discord and or in general they're active in social media, so they're active in the community. And I don't think anyone doesn't know you if they're active in this community. So
I think most people know the name Nightwing because I've seen people recognizing me from places I don't even know, like on streams and things, people I don't know. But I mean, as far as like the leaderboards go, like if I would get onto the leaderboards, I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't recognize that was actually me because my name isn't the same as it is right here. My name on the leaderboards is Golden005, and because they're so different, people aren't going to notice which one or what person it is if they see that pop up or something. But actually, speaking of Scopos, you said I'm one of the next best things after Scopos. What's funny about that is I've met Scopos, and we both went to an arcade together. I don't know if you guys know this from the stream I was on that one time, but we went to Dave & Buster's, and we were playing the arcade for like 2 hours or something. Based on the way that I was playing with my my strategies and game knowledge and techniques of how I use combos and basics and specials against him, I beat him more than he beat me. So the joke we have is that I'm better than him now because I've beaten him more than he's beaten me. because that's actually legit. That's 1-on-1. It's not AI or anything like that. But yeah, I gave him a run for his money. I beat him quite a few more times than he beat me. So
Nightwing supremacy.
So he's admitted that I'm better than he is. No,
best player in Injustice.
Exposed.
If you're gonna put it that way, that's alright with me. You can do that. he might have the most number one spots, but
that's gonna be the fun.
I've got him at arcade. I got his techniques beaten. He won't beat me with the combos and the juggling and the special uses, but he's still a really, really good player. He's one of the best out there for sure. But yeah, that was a lot of fun meeting him too. To have that experience was awesome.
How did that happen?
Well, New Year's, I was going to some place for vacation, and I had messaged him because I knew that the general area he was in was around there. And I asked if he wanted to meet up, and he said, sure. So we made plans to do that, I think, on a Saturday. And he drove to where I was, and we met up and ended up playing at the arcade for a few hours. I think it was about 2 hours, but we had a lot of fun doing that. We got a lot of Injustice cards collected. I kept most of them because I won most of them, but that was the first time that he had ever played the arcade, so he got a couple as well. And it's pretty different from MOBA because you're not playing against AI, you're playing against somebody else that can interrupt you and do specials and things in combos that AI just won't do. But he said that was a lot of fun playing that and having that experience because he hadn't done that before.
I'd imagine it would be fun. I think that's what most of us wanted the multiplayer to be, player versus player. So yeah,
right, I'm sure it'll be way too complicated to really get that set up and do that through the game because I guess the coding for that would be a little too complicated. But
but I mean, I know when I started, I thought it was a player versus player.
You were overconfident. Why am I beating all these guys?
In my defense, I was like 7 or 6 years old then. So
oh my word! No. What are you only like 13 or 14?
No, that's the biggest lie I've ever told. I was 9 at the time.
Okay, it's a little different. So you're what, like 14 now?
I'm 17. I was 6 or 7. So.
Oh, you've been playing about as long as I have.
Yeah, I started in like 2014.
No, Blue. Did you say you were playing for 8 years now?
Yeah. I also started. I started playing on my brother's phone with my brother. It was like the first month it launched, but because I was so young, I forgot about it eventually.
Yeah, that was this year makes, well, I guess 9 years next month. It was March then, 2013. This will be 9 years coming up in about a week or two.
I'm fine with saying 8 years because I don't remember the exact date, obviously.
Right.
So
I think that the first month it came out was in March 2013, I believe. Yeah, March 2013 was the first official launch that it came out. I don't know. Maybe. It's actually a month and 3 days away because it was March 29th.
It's
2013.
I hope in the future sometime we could all do a meetup and have like an Injustice event.
I think if we get all the communities rallied together and we do something like that, we could make something work like that. That'd be fun.
And next year I'll be an adult, so things will be easier for me.
Yeah, I didn't realize you guys were playing or had been playing that long. I figured that I guess I'd only found a couple, like Aiden and Jenna and Devlin had been playing for 8 years, like I had.
Playing that long is an exaggeration because I think too many people played back then, but almost everyone has taken a 5-year break. Me being one of those. So.
Oh right, yeah, I know a couple people stopped for several years.
Yeah, I started in 2015. And then also took a lot of breaks.
I think I had one break really after I had finally got my last character, and there hadn't been updates for about a year at that point. I stopped playing for like 10, 11 months or so. Then I came back. So I guess it's closer to 8 years than anything else because it was about mid-2013 I started playing. It was a couple of months after the game started coming out. So I guess in a few months it would be technically 9, but it's closer to 8.
everyone, thank you for coming. Nightwing especially. We were.
Yeah.
It was one of our biggest wishes when we started this to have you on.
Are you
Actually,
serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you were like the
thanks,
first or
guys.
second person we thought of.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. I didn't really think I was anything too special, but this was definitely a lot of fun. Just a guy.
around
I'm
here.
just a fan making stuff for the fans. I'm nothing more than a fan. That's all I am.
From the community for the community.
That's exactly right. That's what we are.
Yeah.
A community built by fans for fans.
Hey.
Thank you for listening to episode 9 of the Injustice Gods Among Us podcast. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Bye.